Well, hello, beautiful ones. This is Stacey Murphy, the head vixen of the Vixen Academy, and I want to welcome you to my podcast, where today I'm going to be sharing with you how I got triggered by hearing "I love you." And I know uh, it may be a shock to you because it definitely was a shock to me when I realized I was getting triggered by this. But before I get into that juicy story and the insights that are coming from that, if this is your first time hearing about me or being in my community, you can find out more about my work by going to thevixenacademy.com. So let's just kind of get into this whole thing, this whole awareness that I got about being triggered by hearing "I love you." So this happened when I just finished attending a 4-day retreat. And I do these meditation awareness retreats several times a year with both of my mentors because we really go deep into mindfulness and breaking patterns and stories and things of that nature. So, just like you, I'm always growing, expanding, and learning. I feel that I'm a lifelong learner. I'll be learning from the cradle to the grave. And anybody that says to you, "Well, I've already done that, or I got it figured out," you need to kind of think second. You need to second guess that, or you need to think again about that. But at this retreat, what I noticed, how I got triggered by "I love you" was there were so many people that were and this is all virtual, but there were so many people that were just doling out "I love you, I love you, I love you, ooh, I love you too, ooh, I love you too, ooh, I love you too." And it's like they were doling it out like candy, right? And like on this sugar high kind of situation. And I found out, or should I say, I felt my body starting to get a little bit more tense. And then I noticed I was getting a little bit annoyed. And I said, "Wait a minute." And then I caught myself in the middle of all of that, all of those feelings that were coming up. And I said to myself, I said, "Girl, you are being triggered here. What is going on?" Right. And one of the things that came up for me was that there was a judgment behind there, because when I say "I love you" to someone, there's a definite seriousness to that. And what was coming up was the judgment and feeling, because they were doling out "I love yous" like candy. I was making the judgment and the assumption that they weren't taking it seriously. They weren't taking the depth of love seriously. I'm in it all day long, right? I coach it, I teach it, in my world. So I'm really serious when it comes to this issue of love. But I saw to the negative point that I was taking this seriousness when it shifted over to judgment, right? And so the universe was literally putting a spotlight on that. And so that was like, "Oh my gosh." I said, because the universe is preparing me for big love. Right. And so by preparing me for big love, the universe was stripping away and uprooting any hidden pockets of resistance I didn't even know was there. And this is, everyone listening to this is how this happens, right? And when you do get triggered by something, the next thing I want you to ask yourself is, why is this triggering me? What is behind me feeling frustrated, annoyed, upset, whatever that may be, right? Just stop for a moment and detach yourself from the circumstance, people, or event that may have caused the trigger, right? They're just the catalyst. They have nothing to do with whatever the trigger is within you. They're just a catalyst. And the universe is showing you this trigger or presenting this trigger so that you can heal it. And that is the gift, especially when you get triggered by something. It's being shown so you can heal it, get it out of the way so you can move on successfully in your life, right? And so that was the other thing. And here was the other realization that came from this. This also made me realize how much we are indoctrinated in hearing negativity. how much we are with the news, on social media, all those other things. And people are what's going wrong, people bitching about this, pointing the finger about this, being angry about this. We hear it everywhere, even in our professions, in our jobs, even within everywhere. But then, what happens is it's like in this weird kind of way, almost as if we've become so indoctrinated by hearing that negativity that when we do hear people sharing, showing, and speaking love, we get angry and annoyed by that. Right? I mean, really think about the irony of that. And I know I'm not the only person that may have had that awareness. Some of you may be having this awareness exactly right now, right? As I'm saying this, think to yourself, when you see other people showing love, when you see other people hunky dory and all this, are you like, oh my God, that feels amazing, look at them showing love? Or does envy come up? Does jealousy come up? Does, oh, that's fake, they're just pretending, their life probably isn't really like that, right? Does sarcasm come up? Right? I want you to really, really check that, because that was the spotlight that was shown to me. And like I said, the universe is preparing me for big love. Because think of it this way, love is a gift that we have inside. And it's also a gift given by the universe. So think about this for a moment. I know this has happened to you because it's actually happened to me, right? I mean, it's happened to everybody. Say you gave a gift to someone and it was a gift you perceived had great value, right? To you, you were excited to give them this gift. But when you gave it to the person, they were either judgmental about it, negative about it, or disappointed by your gift. And you can see it in their face or the tone in their voice. Now, would you be eager to give them another gift? Right? Now, the honest answer to that is no. You would have some hesitation around giving them a gift again because you remembered how disappointed they were when you last gave them a gift. Now, think of it this way. Now, being negative, sarcastic, envious, or jealous about love or others in love, you're actually being unappreciative to the gift the universe is attempting to give you by noticing it around you first, right? You have to notice in order for you to attract love in your life, or even if you're already in an existing relationship, to have that love go deeper or have the love return in an existing relationship, you have to notice the love that's around you first, right? You can't receive something you don't even notice, right? So you have to notice it around you first. And this is how the law of attraction works. So if you're harboring any of these repelling energies of sarcasm, negativity, envy, or jealousy, right? You're literally using the law of repulsion. You're repelling the deep love that you want. And this is why it may feel elusive to you, even if you're currently in a relationship right now, right? So the universe showed me a hidden pocket of resistance. Like I said, I didn't even know I had. So instead of getting hard on myself or down on myself, I actually said, thank you. I was like, Lord have mercy. Thank you. I said, thank you to the universe for looking out for me. Thank you to the universe for having my back. Because just like a surgeon, the universe was using precision to uproot what could be a block from me to attracting my beloved. And, because if you've been in my community for a while, you know that I've been practicing polyamory, which is an open relationship dynamic, for the past 10 years, right? And so Spirit in the past year, Spirit has really shifted me towards monogamy, right? And so this is, you're in the presence right now of a love coach that is in transition in her own relationships. I have been, like I said, practicing polyamory, the open dynamic, for 10 years. And then, I've been with my last partner, I stepped away from that relationship last year and we were together for 6 years. And one of the things I did notice was that I had been coupled in one form or another over the past 20 years. And I hadn't have any kind of free agent status. So what happens is I've been using this time since I stepped away from my relationship last summer to really work on my foundation once again. So my foundation is good and in its yummy place. in order for me to attract the big love that I want in my next journey and where I'm going. Right. And so, this is why I'm also really excited to be teaching, on the back half or the second half of this year, my Manifest Your Man group coaching program. Because last year, a special client of mine even got engaged completing this program in a pandemic, right? And she still got engaged. So, and I developed this program because it was instrumental in helping me to successfully navigate the poly world, which I did for the past 10 years. And so what happens is, that was to me, in terms of man abundance, right? And everything was open and honest and above board. And so now I'm doing the training again, and along with the class, but this time as a free agent for calling in my beloved. So you see, even with I use my own stuff. Trust me, I use my own stuff. That's how I know it works, because I use my own stuff. So it was so instrumental when I was navigating more than one man. And now I'm like getting back on the bicycle, and this time on the bicycle towards monogamy. And so I'm going to be using it coming from that lens. Right. And so what happens is, I know what the universe showed me then this weekend. It was all part of this unfolding, right? And I trust that now without question. And I used to doubt and second guess it, but if the past 5 years have shown me anything, it's shown me to trust it with complete faith. And so if you've trusted, now here's a question I want to ask you. If you trusted everything that your higher source was showing you, how do you feel your life and relationships would be right now? If you trusted it, if you didn't have any doubt, if there was no second guessing, and if you knew that everything that you were being shown was sent to you from your divine creator, the universe, spirit, goddess, God, wherever you want to call it, and you trusted that implicitly, and it was showing you, here is the next step I want you to look at. Here is the next step I want you to take. Because when you do take that next step, it will deliver you to the dreams and the aspirations and the desires of your heart and your life. If you trusted that implicitly, how do you feel your life would be and where you would be in your relationships? So many times when we discover something about ourselves, and it may not feel good, like what I discovered this weekend, it didn't feel good, right? I'll be honest with you. It did not feel good, right? But, and we either deny it or we beat ourselves up, which is what I call is self-abuse in the form of name calling. And I have been involved in some of that myself, right? And so this is why I decided to say thank you. Thank you for that awareness versus giving myself any type of self-abuse, right? Because the name calling, it sounds like this. If you want to know what the self-abuse sounds like, it sounds like this. How could I be so stupid? Why didn't I see that? That was dumb of me. I'm hopeless when it comes to love. So anything similar like those words ever pass your lips, right? Or you may have even heard that said to you by others growing up. If so, what you're doing is you're actually continuing that abusive behavior, but it's now being self-inflicted. So the remedy to that, because I don't want to leave you here on a downer. So here's the remedy to that. The remedy is for you to feel excited about the self-awareness that you just received, because it's a sign that you're moving towards your healing. And anytime you are moving towards your healing, you're moving away from your pain. And that is a beautiful thing. So if you stick with breaking down the old patterns that the self awareness is putting a spotlight and showing you, your freedom from that pain is near at hand, darling. It is near at hand. And that is the power that you have in your hands right now. Listening to this, that is the power that you have. So if you say you have trust and faith in a higher source, now would be a good time to start practicing that, right? Now would be a good time to start believing that, right? So when awareness shines a light in your face, like it did in mine this weekend, then believe it and take the medicine that the universe is giving you for your good. And when you, because here's the whole thing, and here's the truth. You may not like how it tastes when it goes down, right? When we taste medicine, we all have that crazy look on our face. We sometimes want to pinch our nose, right? Because we feel like pinching our nose for some reason is not going to make the medicine taste so bad when it goes down, right? But whatever you got to do to make it go down is whatever you got to do. So we may not like how it tastes going down, but that will pass. And you'll feel much better and more loved in the long run for it. And that is why you're doing what you're doing in the long run. That is why you want your healing. So remember, every time you're walking towards your healing, you are moving away from your pain. And that is the power and the beauty that you have in your hands right here, right now. So I hope take these words into your heart. All right, everybody, and have that self awareness like I did this weekend and say thank you when you receive that self awareness. So if you love listening to this, especially if you were on YouTube listening to this, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so you can hear more things. And I'm actually going to be doing some more stuff like this because I love and I enjoy doing the podcasting. So thank you, everybody, for being with me, taking these juicy words of wisdom that I just shared. And with that, everyone, namaste, and we are complete.